Hello, this is Ro, and welcome to Rollercoaster Talks. By the title of the video, you're gonna be able to tell what this is about, and this is gonna be filmed like in different days. So if you see me changing my clothes, it makes complete sense. So the thing is, I've watched the first season of Sherlock. And there are some things that I have to say. One is that finally I'm watching it, which is crazy because I have been postponing that for a long while. And it was time that I decided to do it because he was the only Sherlock that I hadn't checked. I already seen Henry Cavill, Sherlock Holmes in Enola Holmes. And I've seen Robert Downey Jr. and his magnificent performance as Sherlock Holmes in the Sherlock Holmes movies. I'm speaking like crap. I tend to do that. Deal with it. Anyway. Yeah, so the only thing I was missing was checking out Benedict Cumberbatch. Because I'm checking out superheroes, I know that there's a TV show that it's also called Elementary. That's Sherlock Holmes, like also in the present, sort of like the Sherlock Holmes they did with Benedict. But I'm gonna check that in like some other time. Now, to go completely fast with whatever I have to say, because I'm gonna rumble a lot, and yes, I babble a lot as well, because I don't know how to decide when I have to speak. So, shall we get to it? So, anybody who watched the series already know that there's 3 episodes in the first season. I knew that because a friend of mine is a super fan and she always told me that they take a lot of time filming because the episodes are long, but the series is like short, and like the seasons are short. And I think that's a great way of making a season. It's very compartmentalized and it has a lot of time. I mean, particularly I like episodes in long episodes, because I just wish there was more when the episodes are like too short, and there's not enough going on, and or when they treat things like super fast, like that's something I despise. And I think that's something that the series does so well. Like, as long as I've seen so far, they take the right amount of time to develop things, and that's something that I love it completely. So I am a big fan of Sherlock Holmes. I haven't read all the books, so I'm not the number one fan. I don't think I call myself the number one fan of anything except my own writing, because I do fangirl a lot about that. But anyways, I really like Sherlock Holmes. It's a story that I grew up with. Then Robert Downey Jr. became Sherlock Holmes, and you can imagine that I was even more invested than before. And it's a character that I completely love. I just really like the detective thing. I mean, like, he is pretty much the inspiration to one of my first stories. So yeah, I really like Sherlock Holmes. So that's saying that I did like the first season, because it's based off the books. So how can I not like it? And surely enough, don't let me forget one thing that I was very angry with in the series, like the transitions. If you've watched my previous videos, which are not many, but there they are, you can realize that I am crap at editing because I am learning and I suck at it. And I admit it. I know, I'm learning. I just, this is for fun, so of course I'm gonna suck at it. Anyways, the transitions were as awful as if I had made them myself. And I was just like, what the hell is this? What in hell is this? Why are you doing this? Oh my god, like, you will think that transitions will be a lot smoother. Because, I don't know, it's a good TV show. And that's the only thing I have to complain about, actually. But I was just like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this to me? So I really didn't like that. The rest is just pretty great. So, considering we've already established that I really do like Sherlock Holmes, like from a starting point, now let's go with the rest. Yeah. So, talking about character development, I really liked every single character, but I'm gonna talk about the three more important ones. And well, this is not exactly character development because it's like the first season, so there's just not so much development so far, because we're barely being introduced. So the three characters that I care about, like right now, are Sherlock, Moriarty, and Watson. Let me tell you one thing. I am in love with Sherlock's, Robert Downey Jr.'s Sherlock. My dog is barking. Ignore him, because I'm going to ignore him too. I like his character a lot, so I have a lot of attachment to it. Still, I can't put them apart. Like, I watched Enola Holmes, and Henry Cavill did an amazing job in it, and I really like Cumberbatch work in this as well, because Benedict was incredible in the Sherlock. He gives that sense of being a sociopath. I don't know, it's just incredible, and how fast he is, and he makes the character be so sophisticated and smart, which is something that I appreciate a lot. Like, I don't know, he makes it. Well, I think that Robert Downey Jr.'s Sherlock is a lot funnier than Benedict's. It's been a long while since I've watched uh, the RDJ movies, so I don't recall everything precisely, but I do remember that. The thing is, Cumberbatch Sherlock is actually really great. Well, he's a great actor. I couldn't expect less from him because he's actually very good. I've seen all of his work, others of his works. Oh my god, I can speak like Persian. Anyways, I've seen all things, and he was pretty great. He was pretty great. I haven't seen his entire filmography, but someday I will. I mean, I haven't seen the entire filmography of anybody, I think. Yeah, one actor, Tom Holland, is the only one. Anyways, he was great in it, so I really like the Sherlock he portrayed. Like in his introduction in Study in Pink was pretty great. I liked it. I liked how Watson was so amazed by it. And coming to it, well, we're gonna talk about Watson. The only thing I didn't like about Watson was the introduction, because the first thing we see, we see the whole series through his eyes, because well, not all of it, but mostly because he's the one who's telling the stories. I mean, the books are narrated by Watson. So his introduction about the war, it's probably because I'm not interested in wars in general, so I don't really care about anything that it's related to that, if I'm really honest. But I don't think that was a great introduction for the series. I think that it would have been a lot better to start it off in therapy. That would have been a lot more interesting. I mean, I think it would have been far more interesting. That other people may think differently. It's just one thing that I don't know, is this kind of thing that I would like it to be different in that sense, because maybe I don't like so much the starting war. It was, I don't know, I was watching, and I was sort of overwhelmed for a moment. Anyway, it is kind of well done, because you want to be overwhelmed in that moment. I just didn't like it. I didn't appreciate it a lot. Anyways, Watson was a great character. I really love Martin Freeman in this character, because he's actually very good. I mean, we don't see so much of him to talk about a lot, but it's very interesting in general. So I really like it very much. And then, well, that's this Moriarty, Jim Moriarty. He's introduced in the Great Game, so I was expecting him. The thing is that I haven't seen gift sets or anything about this, but I sort of knew. The moment he appeared and he left Sherlock his number and all of that, and he was kind of flirting, and the other scientist. Well, I'm gonna call her a scientist, but I'm pretty sure she's a doctor. And Sherlock was like, he's gay? Like, how can you not see? I'm just here like, oh, well, you're gonna be bummed by it. So, yeah, I don't know. I was just like, oh, shame. Like, you mean like James Moriarty. Oh, yeah, great. I know where this is going. So, anyway, that was a very entertaining character, and I just love the fact that there were various cases that Sherlock had to solve, and the fact that Moriarty basically had a style and Sherlock Holmes did. That's just like crazy. It's like, oh my god, they were meant to be arch enemies and arch enemies. So, well, you know, Mycroft is introduced as well, which is the real arch enemy, like for Sherlock. Sherlock thinks his brother is his arch enemy, and I don't think we had enough of him to like give something of. I mean, like, the first season didn't do a great job at giving us Mycroft content. I feel like Enola Holmes did a better job at that, because I don't know, Sam Claflin as Mycroft Holmes was like perfect. But anyways, I can't really complain about it because I know that there's more seasons and there's gonna be a lot more development for him, so I think that I'm gonna come to like it. Anyways, Moriarty in general, he's so theatrical, and I kinda like it. I like the Moriarty from Robert Downey Jr.'s movies a lot better because he was like a villain, you know. He was like this powerful villain that you were totally scared of, and you had this sense of, oh my god, yeah, there's no way Sherlock's gonna come out of this alive. But this one is just like so theatrical and funny and all of that, and I just can't take him seriously. I do like the character, I do like the portrayal, but I don't feel like I can take him seriously. So it's gonna be fun to watch him, that I'm certain of. And well, I think that's all of my thoughts for now on the topic. But well, we'll see. So I just have to watch 3 more seasons. Yeah, at least that's the account. There's Netflix. If there are more seasons, I have to get them. So yeah. Anyways, I'll be telling you about the other ones. So, to follow up, I watched the first episode of the second season already, and it was pretty good. I mean, like, Irene Adler was introduced, and altogether it was better. And they got rid of the awful transitions, so I'm quite happy about that. The thing is, I sat down like 3 times to watch the second episode, and it's fucking boring. So every single time I quit it because it is just an episode that doesn't have me that interested in it. So I'm gonna make my best to actually sit down, finish the episode, because I'm in half the episode or 3/4 of it, so it's not that hard to get through it. So I can finish the goddamn season and finish the review. So I'll get to it. But hear me out, because this is right here is pure bullshit. Pure bullshit in every single sense, because it's not dark enough outside for him not to see something coming, you know? It's just stupid. It's impossible that you didn't see it coming, because it's not dark enough. It's not. This is bullshit. Okay, so now I do have to admit that once Sherlock showed fear and doubt, it got pretty much interesting. So what it was boring turned out to make me invested. So I'm liking the second half of the chapter. The first half was hard to get through. There was this scene in which Sherlock was in the lab and he was studying the sugar to see that they have consumed the drug or something like that. And I made it very simple. I was like, you weren't eating it, you were breathing it. I literally said that, okay? And now it's like, I don't know, I mean, like, it's been like 15 minutes, 10 minutes from that moment, and he's now realizing that the drug is in the fog, that there was an aerosol dispersal, and that I was right. So every time I watch these, I end up telling things that Sherlock discovers like very late in the story, and I'm just here like, there's only two possibilities. Or I have been my entire life just too much going on like with Sherlock Holmes, or things are getting predictable. So I finally finished watching the unfinishable episode, and it was pretty much interesting to see Sherlock going through doubt and through fear, and the fact that the first thing he saw when he thought he was scared was the face of Moriarty, because then you're just like, whoa. Well, that makes it the more interesting, if I'm honest. So, well, now I only have to keep watching and see what's up with the next episode. So I'm starting it out on the Raking Back Fall, and the first thing I hear is my best friend Sherlock Holmes is dead, and I just went like, oh my god, we're going with it. Like, it's the 6th episode of the series, and they have already killed him, which is pretty interesting, and I gotta admit that it's got me hooked up, because I know how this goes. I know that Sherlock's not dead because he's a fuckhead, but we're gonna get there, okay? So, I'll keep watching. I think I want to know, like, if you have watched the series, like, in completely, is it a thing that the 3rd episode is always a Moriarty one? Because it's the 2nd time, I mean, like, yeah, I'm barely in the 2nd season, of course it's the 2nd time that in the 3rd episode Moriarty appears, and I'm just wondering, maybe this is the thing, like, there's 2 regular cases and maybe having Moriarty in it, and the 3rd one is something that he causes, because, well, I don't remember much about the Raking Back 4, but I believe Moriarty is involved in it, because of course, like, it's something like the Great Game, you know. I'll just keep watching, ignore me. Okay, now, do you see the thing I was complaining about before? Well, this is gorgeous, and I'm gonna show you. That transition right there, that transition, it's gorgeous. That transition was freaking gorgeous. So now tell me, why couldn't they have done something similar to that when they were in the 1st season? Why they had to do the awful transitions? Because that was so smooth and beautiful, and it just, the colors and it, that was pretty. That was a great transition. So I'm so happy. I don't know who was the editor of the 1st season. I'm just saying that thanks so much they changed or they changed the way in which they do things, because honestly, I don't know much about filming, but the transitions are something so important, and they throw you off when they are crappy. That one was good.
The world of locked rooms, the man with the key is king, and honey, you should see me in a crowd.
That's such a fucking good line. Oh my fucking god. Such a good line. It was so well delivered, and like I said before, Moriarty is so theatrical, and he does a well job at being theatrical. I mean, like, he's just dramatic, over the top, and I like that about him, because it's just like, makes it quite entertaining. Okay, so I'm in the last few minutes, and it's supposedly that, well, Moriarty just shot himself in the head. I don't know how he's gonna get out of that, but now I'm intrigued for a third season. And Sherlock hasn't jumped from the building yet. Wait, we're gonna see. He's talking to John, so now it's official. I just finished the third chapter of the second season, and well, I gotta say that was a ride. Oh my god, the third chapter was actually very interesting. Like Rakenback Fall. That's an impressive chapter. In every single sense. I mean, like Moriarty was being a smartass, obviously, but I always could see that Sherlock like saw everything coming. So, of course, that with Moriarty being a smartass, like Sherlock will obviously have to outsmart him, but basically, and I could see that Sherlock was seeing everything coming. When he asked Molly for help, I was just like, yeah, you're definitely planning to die. You're not gonna give Moriarty the pleasure of doing that, because I mean, like, if he's someone like Watson said, someone who will outlive God to have the last word, you're not gonna let the villain win. Of course not. That wouldn't be Sherlock Holmes. So it's quite interesting, and how they portray the characters as well. Going back through all of the season, basically, we have Irene Adler to acknowledge on here. I really think Irene was interesting from the get-go. I mean, she was well introduced, she was well portrayed, and even though she only had like one chapter to go through all of this, she was pretty good. I mean, like, she had a good chemistry with Sherlock. She impressed him, and that's the very fine thing she accomplished. She got to impress him, and that's why he likes her so much, and why the sound of her death and all that happened after made Sherlock feel human things. You know, all of that was very interesting to me. So yeah, I will say that she's a very good character, and I have to give props to the actress because she did a great job in it. So what I pretty much got from the second season, the first episode was solid, completely. It was very good, very well portrayed, very well developed. I will clearly say. Even the timing with it, like how much time they went through the passing of 6 months, it felt fast, but it was well done in my opinion. The second episode of this season was not so good. It wasn't so bad, but it was weak for the first half of it. Like, I wasn't invested in it in the least. I was invested when Sherlock showed a little bit of emotion, and he was like, oh my god, maybe I'm a little human, which is very interesting to see. And how he felt fear and doubt. And like I said again, the fact that he hallucinates seeing Moriarty over there, which is crazy, because it's like, what? You come to think why Sherlock Holmes, of all people, will fear this man. But, well, maybe he can fear him because he's the only one who can match him in intelligence and strategy and all of that. So, and the third episode was a masterpiece. I wouldn't go as far as saying masterpiece, but you get me what I mean. It was really good in that sense. It was very well constructed. It has good bases, and it has a good everything coming together. So it was enjoyable because the characters are very entertaining. I enjoy seeing Cumberbatch as Sherlock. I haven't seen much of Benedict's work except for seeing him in Alan Turing's role in Doctor Strange. So you might imagine that I haven't seen so much of him. And seeing him as Sherlock, he does a very well job. He gives off this mysterious vibe while giving the sociopath vibe. He's doing a great job. Martin Freeman as John Watson, I think it's a great choice. It's a great choice, and Martin Freeman is a very good actor. So seeing him there, I really like it, and I really like the duo. They make a great duo. I also like Molly. Like she grows on me. There was a scene in the first episode in which Sherlock is just pinpointing how there's one gift that is particular because it's so well wrapped up and it's just like so much taken care of, and that it has to be for a person that she really likes. And then he realizes that this gift is for him and that he just humiliated her. He was saying all of these harmful things, and he just kisses her, and like that was a very sweet moment, not in the sense of oh my god so good that he humiliated her, but in the fact that he realized of his mistake and he asked for forgiveness. In that sense, I was like, oh my god, this is the more human I have seen her, because he's very rude with her and he's just like, don't get attached, and she's attached already, so she cannot avoid it. So it's very interesting. And I have seen a lot of these innuendos and of that on John and Sherlock, you know. Now I understand why so many people ship them. I don't ship them. Because if I'm honest with you, I don't ship anyone. It's very, very weird for me to get onto a ship. Because I'm not into romance and all of that. So the moment I ship someone is because they have something very special going on. Which mostly doesn't happen. Romance is not that special. So anyway, but I can get why they ship them together. It's quite fun to see the reaction John has upon that, because it's just like, why do they keep saying this? Oh my god, like why do they get the wrong impression? And I'm just here like, people are always going to get the wrong impression. I mean, they want to believe whatever comes first. They don't want to dig in and actually realize of the things. So anyway, that was great. And just yeah, I think it's a very solid season. I think the second season is much better than the first one, because the first one is saved because of the acting, but there are some other things that I didn't like, although the writing and the acting is pretty good. So as well as in storytelling, it goes pretty well. Now I'm very intrigued to see what happens in the next two seasons, so I guess I shall get to that. So thank you so much for watching the video. Subscribe if you liked it, check my other videos, like it if you want to, because if you don't want to, and if you want to discuss this series in the comments, I would love to, because I love when people talk to me about the things they love, and because maybe you'll refresh some things that I didn't talk about in this video, so that would be great. And I think that's just it. So yeah, remember to be positive, kind, and curious. Goodbye.